Thanks for joining me on the Hub. Glad to have you back. And today we're going to just take a review on the win at Southampton yesterday. Going to take a look at some of the positives as well as some negative aspects of that match and what we can expect or try to look at in terms of making progress for the future, the short term and the long term future. Because the coach Ten Hag, he may have bought himself a little bit of time, but this league is difficult and there's still a lot of room for improvement and some sterner tests that are upcoming in the next few weeks. So stay tuned. Let's get the negatives out of the way, I suppose, because actually the first 20 or 25 minutes was all about Southampton. It was all about United not having any rhythm, any movement. They were just basically looked like they really got out of the blocks very, very slowly. It wasn't what you would have wanted after the defeats to especially to Liverpool, and you thought that it would come out with a little more energy, a little more hunger, a little more intensity, but it wasn't to be. And Southampton had the better part of the first, like I said, half an hour or so, and when the penalty was given away by Dallo, who really for that first half had a terrible game. He was overrun basically by Dibbling, the young guy from Southampton, and he made the mistake, brought down Dibbling, and then the penalty was missed, and that it was a good save by Onana, and I think that was the turning point for the game. Although it really you couldn't really predict what would happen. But so we'll kind of get into it and see what happened and draw our conclusions as we always do. So yes, the first 30 minutes or so was pretty dismal. It seemed a familiar pattern, sloppiness, lacking intensity, giving up possession, and really Southampton was all over us at that point in time. And again, like I said, there seemed to be no response, no bounce back, let's say, from the shellacking they received at Liverpool. And so, we expected more, as I said. But, sometimes that happens in football, and United were fortunate with the penalty miss, and that sort of sparked them into some action. Maybe, got their attention, let's say. It could have been a very different game if that penalty had gone in, but we'll take what we get at this point, and Ten Hag is breathing a little bit of easier now, a little more relief for him, because a loss or even a draw, at Southampton would have been really a lot of pressure piling up on him, to say the least. We've got to give credit to De Ligt. He was under a lot of pressure. He was very poor in the Nations League games for the Netherlands in the international break. Several mistakes on his part, and he was under pressure to come good and to show what he's made of, what potential he has. So he's at United. He is reunited with Ten Hag, and I would say that he put in a very credible performance. He was solid at the back, and he scored the opening goal. And that was good to see, because it's United the last few years haven't been known for where crosses or set plays into the box, having the type of presence where you can sort of look or expect for something to happen, including goals coming out of those set plays and crosses coming in the box. So it was good to see that, and he did make his presence known and scored a good goal, and that kind of got the ball rolling for United, because from then on they started to maintain possession. They started to put the pressure on. There seemed to be more cohesiveness. There seemed to be more movement, chemistry, And that was good because Ten Hag, I think, took a gamble because he was playing Ericsson alongside Kobe Mainu. So, and that was sort of questionable, of course, with the performances of Casemiro and Ugarte, as he said, as Ten Hag said, now coming back from international duty, having to travel, then travel to Southampton to play the game. He didn't think he was up to speed and he wanted to sort of bring him in. So that was a sort of a gamble for him to take, but it worked out well. Because we all know Ericsson is not the best in terms of defensively. He's a creative playmaker, but if you only have Kobe Mainu there, he's not also that good in terms of the defensive side of things. So it was a gamble, but it did pay off. And again, we put it in context. It is Southampton, 19th, almost bottom of the league. So, but again, we'll take the 3 points. We'll take the turnaround. We'll take that. Coming back from that one goal, actually the penalty that was missed, because Southampton did have that penalty miss, and they also had a couple of chances too, which could have mean a different outcome to the game, altogether. So Delit basically answered some of the criticism that he had on him and the pressure, and he had a good game and he scored the first goal, and that's a good sign moving forward. And he also, they did bring him off, but in one of the interviews after the match, he was saying that it was some cramps and they wanted to make sure that nothing else, worse happened. So that was fine because 3-0 up, it was 2-0, I think, when he came off, if I remember correctly. But they needed to actually make the change, and that's good. But what was nice too is Rashford finding the back of the net. I think since March he hasn't scored in the league, and that was good for him because you saw a little bit of the old Rashford from a couple seasons ago when he hit 30. And we've seen him last year and this year where he seemed to lack the confidence to make that cut in and try that, take the right-footed shot. And there's some hesitancy because if you compare him to Ahmad is ready, willing, and able to take on the defenders and try to dribble. Rashford is still a little more cautious. He sometimes will play back, and he doesn't, I guess that's a lack of confidence because of what he's been through, obviously. So, but if he continues to score, that confidence will come back. He'll be able to create more going down on that left side and make significant goal contributions and score, let's hope, a significant number of goals this season. Now, I've been critical of Erik Ten Hag, and for the first 25 minutes I was holding my head and saying, here we go again. Where is the intensity? Where's the hunger? That can't be the response we get from the team after losing 2 in a row, and especially being humiliated by Liverpool at Old Trafford. So it started off to feel so familiar in terms of what to expect, but things did happen for the best. And what was really, really impressive to me was the play of the young Dutch international Joshua Zirkzee. I think he is a refreshing change, and he was playing as the striker, but he was in all areas of the pitch, and I see a lot of potential there. And I hope that now I don't want to get too excited because it's still early. He's a young guy and he has a lot to learn, but if you look at his movement, if you look at how he conducted himself on the field in terms of being part of all aspects of the play, you'll realize that there's a lot of potential for him becoming something of a significant player at United. So if you look at the miss he had, it was a stretch. He had to stretch for that, and the Southampton goalie saved it, and he didn't really make a good connection. He had a stretch, like I said, but the point is, he was in the box. He was in there, getting into space and finding that space and trying to get on the end of the cross or the pass, and that's something we need to see more of, because United are so used to having the type of strikers that are in that area waiting to finish off and score goals. You'll also notice with Xerxes, he was dropping back a little deeper from that up front role, and he was there creating plays or being involved in the build-up and being part of the end product, let's say, in terms of building up the play so that United can move forward and get into positions where they would create chances. So you saw that I studied him in terms of what he was doing on the pitch yesterday, and I was impressed with him in terms of his overall movement. And you'll also see that he was tracking back at times and becoming a defensive part of the game in terms of contributing to the defense too. So I really like what I saw, and I think, in fact, I think with Rude there as one of the assistants, it's going to make him even better. And I think that Rasmus Højlund will have to compete now for his position, and that's good. It's healthy to have that type of competition amongst the players in the different positions. So at the back four, Dalot didn't have a good game. Had a torrid time with dribbling down on that side. Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui, pretty good. Little bit of an injury scare because all three of them came off, but De Ligt was just cramps. But we're waiting on some updates for Mazraoui and Martinez. We certainly don't want to start that pattern of injuries again this season. So let's hope for the best. Let's hope it's minor injuries, that they're not out for any length of time. And let's see what's coming ahead. We have Barnsley in the EFL Cup, then Crystal Palace in the league, and Spurs in the league. So, it doesn't get any easier, and let's see how the team responds in terms of having a good performance here against Southampton, and let's hope that type of solid performance, notwithstanding the first 25 minutes or so, continues, and then let's hope they get better in terms of a whole 90 minutes of playing some good football and actually dominating and making, and basically getting the points on the boards. So thanks for staying with us and tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you more content in the future as, the games will start coming fast and furious, because the Europa League gets going also in a couple weeks. So thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to do us a favor, subscribe, like, and share, and we appreciate it, and see you next time. Thanks.